Well, hello everybody and welcome to Leaders NAB 2026 live webinar with myself and my good colleague Steve.
We're glad everybody's here joining us, folks.
So today we're going to rattle through. I said we welcome you to the NAB Show, which takes place in Las Vegas on April the 19th to the 22nd. And Leaders' vision for the show is quite simple. It's test with clarity, measure with accuracy, and monitor with confidence. In an industry transitioning rapidly, to IP, cloud, and hybrid workflows, engineers need certainty in their signal integrity and timing. And Leader empowers broadcasters and content creators, with reliable tools that remove compatibility, accelerate fault finding, and ensure compliance at every stage of the production, and deliver from onset to live production and remote production. Leader solutions provide insight and assurance to maintain quality, reduce risks, and operate with total confidence, even in the most demanding and complex environments. So, for those of you who came to the show last year, you moved, didn't you, Steve?
Yes, we're back home, back in Central Hall where we belong.
And for those of you familiar with Central Hall, we're about halfway down on one of the main alleyways, aisles, I think is the correct description for them.
Yes, yeah, we're just almost dead center, just a little bit towards the back off of the main hall. So, but back home.
Yep. So we look forward to seeing you in the Central Hall. So broadcasters today are on a clear journey, migrating from traditional SDI, whether that be SD, SDR, through HD, HDR, and ultimately towards IP-based UHD workflows. Each step introduces new complexities from color space, dynamic range, timing, compression, and interoperability. And Leader supports this entire transition, providing consistently trusted measurement and monitoring tools at every stage. Whether operating legacy SDI or cutting-edge IP infrastructures, our solutions ensure the evolution without compromising quality and reliability. As the industry accelerates towards UHD and HDR over IP, Leader is here to enable engineers to move with confidence and maintain control and visibility with precise precision right from the start when it comes to fault finding throughout your operation. So the first product, Steve, we're going to hand over to you.
Yes, sir. So this year, we've got some new enhancements to our latest product, the LPX 500. It gives us beautiful interfaces to where we can have 4K circuits coming in, whether they come in on SDI or they come in on one of the two IP interfaces, so a 25 gig interface, or if you want to get up where your spines are, we can get in at 100 gig. And if you think about it, if we're going to do all IP, we can't get 4Ks in on a 25 gig. So we can place the LPX right at the top of your network and actually monitor at the top where things are. So we have the ability to look at this stuff and be able to see it beautifully every place you need to be. And you can configure it with 2 SDI 4K inputs, 2 IP inputs, or any combination thereof. And the beautiful thing is every single input is fully featured. There is no functionality removed as you bring in more and more inputs. So it is a beautiful brand new box. We have multiple ways presets so you can view things stacked horizontally, stacked vertically, already set up for you. Or you can customize the screen and have gestural swipes where you can just turn around and swipe the screen for a different layout of what it is you're looking at. And you can set all of this up and save it all off as a preset. And it's 100% configurable. And then also be able to bring in the second screen. And the second screen, again, has no restrictions. We have the diamond display. We can set up a beautiful, like what we're looking at here, where you've got a full Luma display for people doing camera shading, be able to have a beautiful large vector scope up, diamond display, the picture, and make sure what you're looking at is what you think you should be looking at. And just the configurations that are available in this tool are unmatched anywhere in the industry.
And obviously, Steve, one of the big additions now is the IP tool set that we sneaked out between a trade show after last year's NAB.
Yeah. We can have four, like we said, four 4Ks coming in. We've got 25 gig interfaces, 100 gig interfaces, and complete IP tool set in there to be able to look at and troubleshoot IP issues as well as PTP issues, timing. All the IP tool sets are in the unit now.
So it's a really, the product is coming of age, isn't it? It was launched at NAB last year, and now we're seeing, the feature set rolled out, which, our customers have been demanding.
Yes.
Obviously, we still have the Zen series.
Yes.
For kind of SDI, this provides unrivaled analysis, whether you're working on set, as a DIT. And, we have a myriad, and thank you to all of our kind customers here who've shared some pictures with us of their leaders being used in on-set production. But obviously the 5350 and the 7300 are also extensively used in live production environments for camera shading. And once again, some fine pictures here of our products being used.
And it's also a beautiful QC tool. So for your operators that are doing QC, it's unrivaled.
Yeah. And then for those of you working in a hybrid environment with both SDI and IP, we have the 56 and 7600W series. And now, to complement its true hybrid operation, where you can look at in HD both IP and SDI, we've added WebRTC, which gives you that real-time remote control interface. So people are now starting to put these in dark data centers and remotely connect to them.
Yeah, and that WebRTC, I've had 7 computers in my office running different views of the WebRTC, and computers never faltered. It's 25, 30 frames per second output. Is just gorgeous. And
it's services like being there, isn't it, Steve? It's like sitting next to you.
And we've got a very simple way to put the view of the waveform monitor into your multi-viewers, and it only takes a 10 meg link to get it in there, full frame, full featured, 25, 30 frames per second view. And you still have the ability to remote into it and pull up the remote interface when you need to use the unit.
Yeah. As I said, we're extremely fortunate that along with the 5350 and 7300, there are a huge number of customers using the 56 and 7600W in that live production environment as well. And probably the area that's
Yep.
shown the most interest in this is the growth of HDR, Steve, with the complexities that come with having to deliver both standard dynamic range and high dynamic range. And these workflows have been well documented, through several major events that have taken place recently, and obviously one that's kind of coming up in your neck of the woods this summer. And
Yes.
those operations, we've now added the automatic switching in SDI from 2K to 4K. So for those of you familiar with this in IP, it's now available in SDI, which is going to simplify live production workflows no end, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
The other big challenge, obviously, with the single layer SDR HDR workflow is managing the LUTs and keeping them as simple as possible. So on the Leader Zen series, we've added the capability to store up to 10 LUTs. So depending on who you're working for, which are their LUTs, maybe you're working on a production that requires the BBC's 9C or the NBC Universal LUTs, you can apply them onto the waveform monitor. So the camera shaders continue to work in SDR on a 100 nit display with a 2.4 gamma. And that's the same LUT that's being used on the program output that's taking that HDR image and converting it to SDR.
Yeah.
And the other great thing is the Leader Zen series also support a 3D LUTted confidence monitor output. So the camera shader can take the SDI output from the waveform monitor into his reference monitor. And yes, he's looking at the waveform and the vector and all of that, but he's got that reassurance of the picture looks correct. And if you're running in IP, the 56 and 7600 can also act as an IP to SDI gateway. So they can take that 2110 signal and remove the requirement for any other gateway products and put the 3D LUT on the output. So, I mean, that's simplifying things no end, isn't it, Steve?
Yes. And what about that new feature we've added to the shortcut key?
Yeah. So we've added the ability to the shortcut key, which is the button that sits on the front, which many of you have been using in the past for recalling a waveform display or bringing up Cinezone. Well, we've now added the ability that you can punch in and out the 3D LUT by selecting the shortcut button. So this is really handy, isn't it, to when you're switching between the two sources without having to recall presets and multiple button presses.
Yeah. Yeah. When I told the gentleman who's doing the HDR supervision at the Masters, he was giddy over this. He loved it because he's been waiting for the ability to be able to punch just a single button, not go into any menu, turn the LUT on, turn the LUT off, turn the LUT on as he needs. Looking at, over 100 cameras is just phenomenal.
I mean, let's be honest, he's got the ideal home set up, hasn't he, for any golf fan over the next weekend. But moving on.
Yes, please.
So again, the 56 and 7600 have also, established themselves very much in post-production. And again, the 3D LUT can be used here to create a 709 version without having to run a Dolby trim pass. So again, if you're delivering both SDR and HDR, you can apply the LUT and see what it looks like in 709 and make the necessary adjustments nice and smooth and easy. Sync pulse generators.
Yes, then we come up to our SPGs, our sync pulse generators, our true hybrid sync pulse generator. It's beautiful because it provides all of the test signals you need, all the sync outputs, the test signals, everything you need. And the beauty is it's all tied to one oven controlled crystal, which means that test signals, you sync, anything that you're doing, the PTP coming out can never drift apart from each other because they're all coming from one master oscillator that is an oven controlled master oscillator. And then we have the ability that if for some reason you lose your input, something happens to the GPS signal, you get a lightning strike, something else, everybody stays on that oven controlled crystal. When you get the signal back, it comes back slowly, either forward in phase or in backwards in phase. So there's no hit or disruption as it pulls itself back into phase. Then we've got some features that will stop this right here, where we end up with PTP possibly running off of one generator and all your baseband signals running off another generator, because the ECO does all of your baseband signals, but the BMCA that does the PTP is done out on your network, and they switch independent of one another. We've now got them set up so they are tied together and everybody is seeing everybody else. So the sync pulse generator is monitoring what's going on in the ECO. It's also monitoring what's going on with PTP. And if you switch from primary to backup, everything switches together so that all of your signals always come off of the same generator. And that stops maintenance nightmares to where your baseband switched over because your ECO switched, but you didn't even think about the PTP, and you go grab that primary generator that's no longer providing all your baseband signals, and you down power it to start troubleshooting, and you just rippled PTP. And it also stops the PTP flip-flop that you can get, to where we can set it up to say you're going to act exactly like we always have in baseband. If you switch from primary to backup, you stay on that backup until the engineer can inspect it and say, yes, okay, we got everything fixed, it's good, I will bring you back on my time. So,
Steve, obviously the QX family of products, which are used throughout the broadcast industry, not only by broadcasters but also manufacturers as well. And
yes,
QXL and the QXP.
Yeah, beautiful products that are a half rack wide, 1RU rasterizer that can do SD all the way up through 4K. Also has 25 gig IP inputs. This is the norm for every manufacturer making any video products. This is the golden rule right here, but it's also used a lot in engineering locations within broadcast facilities. Then the QXP takes all of that, and it is the first portable 12G and 25G 2110 portable analyzer with that battery on the back of it. You can turn around, unplug the mains off of it. It keeps right on running, and take it out into the middle of your network and start testing.
And not to forget the QX. So for those who have more of an SDI focus, we have the QX is still part of the family,
yes,
and can be upgraded to IP, but obviously it's only 10 gig, isn't it, Steve?
Yes, it is. So it's primarily used in the SDI world, but it's got all of the tool sets in the SDI world. And for manufacturing that's only doing SDI, it has all of the SDI tool sets you need to be able to stress your design.
And then it wouldn't be a trade show without the SX family, with the SXA, SXD with its dual link capabilities, SXE with its I pattern, and the SX tag. Now,
Yes,
Personally, Steve, I think the SX tag is probably one of the best kept secrets in our industry
It
because
is, Kevin. It really is, with that
IP
ability
based.
to do IP in a handheld 2110.
Yeah. And it can act as a gateway. So it can go from IP to SDI and SDI to IP,
Yeah,
which, you know, in a portable handheld unit can be an absolute savior as an engineer,
yeah,
scrambling around the back of the racks or tracking down where that signal's gone missing.
yeah.
But the
You've
bit,
you, you've got a critical gateway that has failed, and you don't have a replacement for it. You can pop this thing in as an emergency, and then,
and
like you're showing right now, Kevin, the PTP tool set.
I mean, this I have used on numerous occasions where basically the network has a boundary clock island where there is a boundary clock switch in there that is not receiving or not accepting PTP from, the distribution layer. And this tool is just beautiful. Plug it into the back of the network switch. All you need to know is the PTP domain, and then it will pop up with the Grandmaster ID, the priority status, and everything. So if you see a grandmaster, or you see that the GMID does not match the grandmaster that you're expecting, likelihood is that you've got a boundary clock island, and that's going to cause you real timing issues. As you build these complex leaf spine architectures with your red and blue networks. So, Steve, we also have
Yes,
an upgrade to the NDI checker. Our first
yes,
software only product.
yeah. So, a app that you can load on your laptop that will give you full visibility into your NDI network, whether it's running multicast or unicast, and be able to show you every flow that it finds. And you can go in and view it and get the bit rate, get the resolution, and make sure that what you're passing across your network is what you think you've set up for, and be able to give you a trouble log and indications that you're having errors or not having errors.
And the great thing is, Steve, there is a trial version of it. So,
Yes, there is.
so for anybody who's online, get your camera out, click on that quick, and you can fill out a form and receive a link to download the trial version today of the NDI checker.
Yes.
And finally, Steve, the RX series, it's going to be at the show floor. So for anybody who is working in SD or HD, and has a requirement to analyze, a deep set of ancillary data information, these three products are unrivaled, aren't they?
Oh, they are. They are. We still have a tool set for someone who is only doing SDI and isn't going to go farther than SDI, go up to 3G. You're a broadcast facility. You're not going to get into 4K. And this is the perfect tool set. You're not going to get tools that are built into the box that you have to pay for that you'll never use.
And the RX 1000
So,
and
Kevin?
2000 are the only devices that support 4 eye patterns.
Yes, yes. You can actually put 4 iPattern modules in there, and every input that you are bringing into the unit, all independent of one another, and be able to have iPattern on all 4 of them. So, gorgeous product.
So if you're coming to the show, obviously not only our stand, but also we will have products on the Arista stand and Providius. Also patch amp with all mobile video. So, don't just take our word for it. Go and talk to people who are using our products. They're going to have them at the show. They're going to be on show. So, we're very pleased to be able to, work with, our third party partners here.
And
And
we look forward to seeing everybody that can come by. Please stop by, if nothing else, just to say hello. We love it when you come by and ask us any questions you've got, please.
And if you're running a tight schedule and you want to book an appointment with Steve and I, please use the QR code that's on the screen now. to book an appointment, and we'll get right back and confirm that time. And Steve, as I said, we look forward to seeing everybody in Las Vegas end of next week.
We most certainly do, Kevin.
So,
and great talking to everybody. Have a great one.
And you too, Steve. And we'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody.